And we are live, and we're going straight into the 12:30 kickoffs because we do have a few there. We are on the bottom there that we are covering. We're covering the Championship and League One. John S Sports Channel here again, doing a quick. It's a listen along this time. We the one I wanted to watch isn't available on video. We will be covering the same team next week on video, so it will be a true watch along, at least at 3 o'clock. So these are all going to be via the Bet365 app, so we will know who's passing to who, and we will be able to give you a rough idea of what's happening. But we will be listening to one on Bet365 as well, so we'll be. Let's get that up while we get up the team news for today. So we're that in there, and we are just about ready. I just wanted to see. The only thing is, it's put the category up as entertainment, which is really weird. So we are going to start with Norwich versus Watford. So let's have a look at Norwich side. We have Angus Gunn at the back. We have Fisher, Duffy, Doyle and Cordoba. Wow, that's a nice back line there. Staggered mid of Schwartau, Nunes, Knack. Anti-Knack, right, gone. McLean and Saints and Josh Sargent up front. So that's a decent side there. Midfield it's got a nice mix of old heads and not so old heads in there. So I think that's a pretty decent side. Can Norwich decide to play a little bit more stable football? That they just haven't hit it off for me, and a lot of people are saying this in the last few weeks. Where's the class that we know that Norwich have? Where is it? Because at the minute we don't see that class that we know Norwich has in that side. You just look at that: Shane, Duffy, Callum Doyle, Cordoba, Nunes. It's just it just screams class, but. They are playing a Watford side. Backman with Pollock, Serialta and Morris at the back. Andrews, Bashiru, Sissoko and Sema. And then a front three staggered with Jebison up front of Vata, Jebison and Chekveded. So they've got a decent side. I would say that's not quite as good as the Norwich side, but the Watford side has been playing extremely well, and their position says it all. We have Watford in 5th on 10 points. We have Norwich in a lowly 5th, in a lowly 16th with 5 points and only one win. And it doesn't make sense when you look at that lineup. So at the minute, that looks more like a Norwich win, but. And I think with the Watford format there, 3 at the back, you have to start thinking that Norwich at home would be quite a formidable opponent. But we know what that's lined up like in the last few games. So we got a QPR versus Millwall. Now, can Millwall continue where they finished last season of playing extremely well away from home? And not playing that well at home. They seem to have changed that round this season. They're playing quite well at home, and I think the away form's been a little bit down on what it was last year. Let's have a look, because QPR at the minute, QPR just haven't been ticking for me. They certainly finished last season a hell of a lot better than what they've started this season. Just 1 win, 3 draws, and 12 position and 6 points. Millwall, five games, 19th, 1 win, 1 draw, 4 points, and you just can't see where they're going wrong. I mean, every so often they get these. I've been looking at the results and looking at the games, and Millwall have actually been playing quite well, but not getting anything from it. And it's like weird. How are they doing it? Because look at the teams. QPR, you've got Nardi at the back. You've got Dunn, Cook, Clark, Salter, and Pal at the back, which is a decent known back line. You've got Dembele, Madsen, Anderson, Field, and Seattle in midfield. Just trying to stop that one from going off. Give over. And Michael Frey up front. And you have to think, there's a damn good side there. That is actually a really good side. And at home, you would really fancy a good result for QPR. Because last season they finished so bloody well. And yet now, they just don't seem to hit it off quite as well. And it's not like they've changed wholesale like some teams, which is really weird. Millwall, where's it gone wrong? Because they were playing really well at the beginning, and I still think they are playing well, but they're just not getting the results. I mean, Jensen at the back, with a back four of Leonard, Cooper, Tangana, Brian. Okay, that's an okay mid-championship back line, I think. The midfield is Saville, Honeyman, Denor and Watmore, and I think that's a really classic midfield. That is a good championship midfield. And then Macaulay, Langstaff up front. Yeah, so they've got some really good players. A little bit more. I'm not impressed by the back line, but that's my personal opinion. And when we look at the QPR side of Nardi and the what they've got up front, you start to think that Dembele could actually do quite a bit of damage against that side, against the Millwall side there. That's going to be quite an even game, I think. Looking at the sides there, I can see that being quite even. So we'll move on from that one, and we go to the last of the championship ones, Sunderland versus Borough. So please do stick around. We're going to be going into it very, very soon. So we're going to go down to League One in a minute. We're going to Sunderland Borough. Sunderland, what on earth happened last week? So we've got Patterson at the back, we've got Hume, Metham, 09, Luke 09's still in there, still hanging around, and Kirkin at the back. We've got Rigg, Neil and Bellingham in midfield, and Bellingham's been doing really well. Joe Bellingham's been doing really well for Sunderland, as Chris Rigg has as well, and Luke and Daniel Neal's been pretty good. I'm not overly impressed, but I think he's been playing a really more like a stalwart in midfield. Up front, they got Roberts, Mayenda and Mundell. Not overly. I've never been impressed by that front line, but it's working. And look where they are in the league. So what do I know? They're already showing how good they are. Until last week when they played Plymouth, which is really weird. So can they bounce back? They're at the Stadium of Light. Borough are going to the Stadium of Light when just at the point when Sunderland need to show the fans that they can forget about last week. And Borough are starting with Dieng, of course, at the back. They've got Ayling, Edmondson, Clark and Borges at the back. They got a staggered mid of Jones, Morris, Conway, Hackney and Azaz. Love the Finn Azaz and Isaac Jones on either side. The Tommy Conway down the middle is absolute classic. I actually like that Borough front mid line. And of course Latte Lat up front. What would you expect? Who they got on the subs bench? Not Dan Barlas are on the subs bench. Bergzorg, Dirk Steele. They've got some really good class on that bench. This is going to be really difficult because they're going into a Sunderland home game. Sunderland are wanting to play that and win it and show that the Plymouth game was just a blip. I think they underestimated Plymouth, to be quite honest. They underestimated and thought it would be a walkover, and they got beaten. Simple as that. They did the same with Rotherham last season. I think we drew there 2-2, and they just thought they were going to walk all over us because we're bottom of the league and one or two wins at the time, and it would be really easy. And I think it ended up 2-2. Yeah, and that's the danger of teams that underestimate the opponent and overestimate their own class when related to the opponent you're playing. So, can Sunderland get over that? I think so. Can Borough go into the Stadium of Light and beat them? Whew, it's going to be a toughie. They're going to League One. We're going to be covering 2 League One games this lunchtime. Exeter versus Stevenage. You can see them all there on the bottom. And we'll be updating that as we go through. If I miss anything and you are still on, then please do put it in the chat. And I'll try and immediately update it. Last week it was a bit frantic. The goals kept coming in rushes of like 4 or 5 goals in one go. Like, oh shit! Right, got it. But we'll keep it on. I'm just going to be looking at Bet365 and getting one of the video radios up. So Exeter, we've got Whitworth at the back. We've got a 3-4-2-1. So we've got Sweeney, Kramer and Ifeko. That's a decent back foot three, Niskanen, Woods, Francis and McMillan, and Doyle, Aitchison and McGuinness up front. And you think they can and they have played really well, and that team is actually not too bad, especially for League One. That team is pretty good. A Stevenage team that were doing really well, were doing cracking at the beginning, but then they just seem to have lost the way a bit in the last 1 or 2 games and just seem to be, are they taking a blip, taking a breather? Well, what have they got? Stevenage, we've got Cooper at the back, we've got 4-3-1-2, so we're trying to go for the goals against an Exeter side that tend to sort of hang back and try and catch people on the break. We've got Wilding, Good, Pergini and Freestone at the back, a good defence. They've got Freeman, King and White, and then they've got a 1-2 of Roberts and Reed and List up front. We know it can play well, we know they can play well, and we know that team can gel together. It's a case of 4-3-1-2 for Stevenage, 4 against a 3 back for Exeter. Can they? Will they bring Niskanen and McMillan back and then start playing a 5 at the back because they've got 3 up front? Well, basically 3 up front. We'll have to see it. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? That's going to be an interesting. That could be a whitewash for Stevenage, or it could be one where Exeter just sit back, put 5 at the back, and win it on the break. The last game was Lincoln versus Wigan. And do tell me who you support. Points in 6th place is pretty good. Wigan, however, have only just started to play well, and I think they've been unlucky for the last couple of games. I think, and they should have been easily on top they were on top in both games. They're in 15th with 6 points, 2 wins, 3 defeats, and I think this team can get something here, and I think that they can actually turn this round. The Bristol Rovers last week of 4-0 away, I think shows that they can do that, and the last league game was only a 2-1 defeat away at Birmingham, and Birmingham with a £24.5 million side is just, you would have bet on them winning all 46 games by about 3 or 4-0 each game. They actually did really well. They actually really did do well. And I'm just pondering over that is actually quite an even game, that one. And what did I say for that one? Exeter Stevenage, I said a draw. Lincoln Wigan, I said Lincoln 2, Wigan 1. Yeah, I basically I wanted to make it a draw, and I thought, well, I predicted so many draws as I went down the list. I realised I was predicting too many draws. Well, which one can I actually change? Well, home advantage for Lincoln, perhaps, and that's that is my total thinking behind that one. Is like, we'll go for the fact that Lincoln are at home and further up the league. Wigan have just had it a little bit rough, because there are certain games, and I'm trying to think of which one. Like the Birmingham one, they could have easily drawn that one. The Reading one, I think Reading played really well then, and they didn't have all this off the field antics of a buyer pulling out. They just played them at the wrong time, you know what I mean? And Barnsley 1-1, they really could have won that one in the Carabao Cup, but you know, it is only the Carabao Cup, they probably weren't bothered. So I think we're seeing a resurgence from Wigan, and I think Lincoln will want to just keep on going at the pace they're going at and not give up. They don't want the heads to drop at any one point. And a home defeat against Wigan wouldn't be too bad, I don't think. I don't think it would cause the heads to drop too much. So where are we now? We're on 28. Let's get round to which ones are we going to go for? So we have... Who do we have to choose from? We have Western and Exeter Stevenage, Norwich Watford, QPR Millwall, Sunderland Middlesbrough, and Lincoln versus Wigan. Wow! Is there anybody who prefers which one we're going to listen to? The only reason why I've not done a video, because I was going to try and get a video of Barnsley, but they're not. Obviously, they're not on the video. Sky Video, so it's going to be a listen along to Barnsley at 3 o'clock, but we can go with any of those. I'll tell you what, let's go with Sunderland Middlesbrough. We'll go unless you want anyone in particular, then blimey. Then please do tell us who you support. So if you support Exeter, Stevenage, Norwich, Watford, QPR, Millwall, Lincoln, Wigan, Sunderland or Middlesbrough, then please do tell us, and I can swap it over to your match if you want. No problem with that whatsoever. So that's that one. And hopefully that will, as Norwich and Watford have started off. So Norwich Watford have started. Doyle on the left, they're passing it around the back at the minute. So Norwich and Watford passing it along the back, and they lose the ball to Watford, but when Watford burst through, apparently offside. So Watford are offside on that one. So Norwich trying to pass along the back, and then they get caught out straight away, which is really odd because that's not like them to do that. They pass through the middle, but Serialta grabs it for Watford. So Nunes, into Saints, and Sargent has a shot on target for Norwich. So he's gone straight up the other end. It's kicked out for a Norwich throw in. So that's straight from one end. A good attack from Watford, but offside, straight up to the other side. Norwich have a shot on target, and Nunes Saints. Now Norwich look like they're setting off to try and. Norwich are indeed trying to push forward there. So, what else we got? We're all 0-0 at the minute. We're on about 2 minutes. Please do tell us who you support. QPR versus Millwall. Let's have a quick look at that. At the minute, the odds are just about in the favour of QPR. Sunderland have a dangerous free kick if we listen. We want to listen to that one. So QPR on the attack at Millwall. Oh, and we had a goal. We have had a goal. And it's not at this game, it's at the Norwich game. And it's now Norwich City 1, Watford 0. So the first goal of the game is indeed at Norwich. And Norwich are leading Watford. So we go back to that. Where does that leave Norwich? And Norwich now coming up to 8th at the minute, with the looks of it. And it's Callum Doyle on 3 minutes. So Callum Doyle puts Norwich in the lead for the first goal of the lunchtime kickoffs. And that's now made it 2.5 to 1 for Sheffield, for Norwich City to win, and 11 to 2 against for Watford, 15 to 4 against for a draw. So they're thinking that's the sign of things to go. We're listening to the Sunderland game to see if Sunderland can indeed do something a little bit different. And as we listen to that, Norwich City 1-0 up, Callum Doyle on 3 minutes. We're going to go quickly into QPR versus Millwall, where QPR were on the front foot for the first few minutes, but Millwall are coming back, and Millwall have started to build up a little bit of possession. The only shot of the game so far is for QPR, but that was off target. Chelsea are in the lead against West Ham, if you're interested. We're going to go into League One now with Exeter versus Stevenage, and shot off target there for Pergini, and Stevenage are on. Conway's hit the bar. We're at Sunderland here. Borough nearly getting in the lead then. So hit the bar. So we've had the bar hit already at Sunderland, and Luke O'Nien makes an error, and that's one of their big heads. That's one of their stable, good heads there. Stevenage are looking like they're slightly ahead down there, but actually, if you look at the stats, Exeter have 72% possession. I'll turn that back down a bit. So Exeter are in the lead as far as possession, but Stevenage are catching Exeter on the break. And they're getting shots off, which is more than what Exeter are. So Exeter are keeping the ball, not doing anything with it. Stevenage are getting it straight to the other end and starting to shoot at goal. And another one for another shot for Stevenage. Stevenage with 28% possession are making more of their possession than what Exeter are with their 72% possession. Exeter are just passing it along the back, doing a couple of little pushes into midfield, but they're not actually getting anywhere with it. that tends to be what Exeter do and try and nibble the way through and get through. So at the minute, it's still just Norwich City 1, Watford 0. As we go into Lincoln versus Wigan, and let's. If you've got a side that you support, then please do tell me. If you're supporting one of these sides today, we can actually change the side we're listening to. I don't mind. We're listening to Sunderland Borough at the minute. But if you're wanting to listen along with your side, you're the only one in, so I don't mind changing it to. While ever there's only one or two people in, I don't mind at all. All part of the chat and all part of the sort of ethos of the channel. So Lincoln City versus Wigan. This is a decent game for League One, and Wigan are trying to. They've improved over the last couple of games, whereas Lincoln City have been really good. Probably from sort of second game, I'd say. It's evens for Lincoln City. At the minute, Wigan have 80% of play, but we know how Wigan play. Wigan play, kick it out. I think we had, Rotherham had a game against them a couple of years ago. We had 38 minutes play during the entire 90-minute game. And that's that they've constantly played that way, even though they've changed managers. So 80% play, very few shots. In fact, they've made one shot, but they tend to just try and belt it down the middle and everybody run for it. And if they get the ball and it's a straight tackle with the opposition, they'll just kick it out for a throw-in. It's not looking a great game, to be honest, that one. Lincoln versus Exeter. If we actually go Lincoln-Wigan, Asgard, ball in midfield. So they've just wellied it down the middle, and Jackson gets it for Lincoln City. And that's just what I was saying, straight down the middle, try and get the ball over the centre. And Jackson comes out, Deriqua, Grandles, and Lincoln City are sort of building it, trying to build it at the back at the minute. But then they tried it down the left wing, and they got a corner down the left side. So that's looking interesting. Lincoln City are trying to just edge it forward slightly. Wigan are more doing their usual, but belting it down the middle. Just listen to this. Yeah, when you... So Sunderland Middlesbrough. Oh, something happened at... Oh, yeah, there's been a goal in League One. A goal in League One. And it's at Exeter. And it's against the run of play, really. It's Exeter 1, Stevenage 0. And we have our second goal of the lunchtime kickoffs with... Is it Latte Lat coming off?
Chelsea have taken the lead away from home against West Ham. Nicholas Jackson with the goal and Jadon Sancho with the assist in his first start for the club. Norwich did take the lead inside.
Just waiting to see if Latte Lat is actually getting taken off.
We are back underway in our game. An opportunity here from the free kick. It looks as though it's going to be Finazan to take it, although Hayden Hackney is over it as well. We'll wait to see who it is that's going to take it. It's going to be Azaz who's going to go for goal, and it was bending towards the goalkeeper's side, but it didn't quite bend enough, quite dip enough, and that's out for a goal kick. It's a big ball there for Sunderland, and that's why Finazan...
We'll actually go to Sunderland on the Bet365, and we've got Luke 09 playing in midfield now. Luke 09 pushes it forward to Meander. Meander just outside the box. Pass it to the left to Kirkin. Forward to Mundle, but Morris and Kirkin clash there. And Kirkin tries to Is that a corner?
One with Isaiah Jones, tries to play it towards the near post, can't get enough pace on the cross. Middlesbrough can look to clear, although that's pretty poor from Aidan Morris. And on the side, goal kick. Semi-general has to take.
We've gone to a goal kick.
Yeah,
gone to a goal kick. So Clark gives it to Dieng, and Middlesbrough can play from the back. And it's been an interesting game so far.
Fantastic one. The goal kick's taken so long. Eventually it's taken short to the goalkeeper Dieng, who tries to send the ball long, but it's really poor in fact. It's easily gathered in the end by Dan Neil.
Edmondson.
Sunderland once again with Romain Mundle down the line to Dennis Cherkins. In fact, it's Joe Bellingham who's on the ball for the first time, looking to try and get away from the defender. That's a nice ball in behind towards Joe Bellingham. Great challenge comes in there, and the Middlesbrough asking for the goal kick, and they've won it. George Edmondson who put that tackle in there on the former Birmingham man. It was crucial as well. That was a terrific ball.
So Middlesbrough lost that and they had the ball. It was a goal kick. So and they just lost it to Sunderland straight away, and it comes straight back for a Joe Bellingham shot. Latte lat there. Oh, tries passing it back, and he does manage to get it back. Conway in the middle for Middlesbrough. Pass it to Morris into Azaz. Azaz on the right hand side for Middlesbrough. Back to Morris. Ayling. Edmondson. It's Middlesbrough that are in the attack at the minute. Hackney. Clark. Morris. Ayling. They're just not able to get the crossing with the looks of it. And Middlesbrough are just pushing away. Clark, Hackney. Let's just go back and see what else is happening. It's still Exeter 1, Stevenage 0. I want to go to that one because that was not... I mean, it's Exeter 2 shots, 1 on target, 1 goal. Stevenage 4 shots, none on target, obviously no goals. 76% possession to Exeter, so you would expect them to be in the lead, and they are. But up to that goal, they weren't doing much with their possession, and all of a sudden they got a goal. Stevenage not watching for that long ball that they like to do down the middle, most likely, but be an interesting one to watch. Did it just go down the middle? Who knows? In fact, I can probably get that on here. So let's see if it went down the middle. Full commentary. Very close range, central. Yeah, always following a corner. So they've actually got that from a set piece, which is not like Exeter at all, for really. But corner in and straight in the net. So that was a left-footed shot by Ed Francis on 9 minutes. So Exeter City, they're actually starting to make a little bit of headway using their good that's about 78% possession, which is good, because at that point before the goal they were certainly not. We're listening to the Sunderland Borough game, so you can hear that. Don't mind. We'll go Lincoln Wigan, because I said this was either going to be a landslide for Wigan or a 2-1, 1-0 win to Lincoln City. And at first I was thinking I'll go for a draw, sit on the fence. At the minute it's mainly Wigan, and I expected that, because Wigan are actually, in the last couple of games, they've started playing really, really well, and I've been quite impressed by their improvement, because it is an improvement. But I was worried about the number of goals in this, and so far after 15 minutes, is it? Let's have a quick look. After 16 minutes, there's only been one shot in the entire game, and it was off target, and it was by Wigan. So it's looking like the Wigan and Lincoln City game will be void of many goals, and if there is a goal, it may just be a one goal win, and it may be the one who gets that first goal will be the one that wins the game, or even 0-0. It's not looking too good. Wigan have 67% of the play, but they're just not even with that one shot on target. But we said that about Exeter, and Exeter have been playing with 78% possession and just not doing anything with it, and then all of a sudden they get a corner and it goes straight in the net with a left-footed shot. So and Francis there, so like left-footing it in the net after 9 minutes. So Exeter I sort of broke that mould of going down the middle and scoring mainly from the long ball and kicking it out for whenever they can. Unfortunately, it's true. And they managed to get 1-0 up. Will Wigan be able to follow them? The game's stats are about the same, but the opposite way round. So, I'm okay. I had if you ever wonder why I cough so much, I had meningitis when I was 40. And I've only got half a left lung, so that's why I cough, and it's really bloody irritating. And I thought, well, doing something like this might just take my mind off it. So, and I enjoy it. We sometimes do a watch along where we go. Next week, I'm doing a watch along at 3. I'm doing Barnsley versus Stevenage. I'm getting the video for that. This afternoon we're doing. It's just I've paid for a Burton Barnsley pass, so we'll be listening to that one. And then I sort of do. This time I've got Bet365 playing the Sunderland Middlesbrough game. We can listen to any of the other games. If you're a fan of Norwich, Watford, QPR, Millwall, Exeter, Stevenage or Lincoln, Wigan, I can actually get those on the radio. So if you are interested, all of those are actually available. So, Tam, you're a Huddersfield. All right, okay. Yeah. Well, we know. I think we know which 3 are going up from League One, don't we? Birmingham first, Huddersfield or Wrexham second, then Huddersfield or Wrexham for the playoff. I'm just worried about this afternoon, because this afternoon is just going to be manic. Listening to the Sunderland one, I'm betting on 4-0 to. I'm betting on 4-0 to Birmingham. I just can't see it being any less. We're playing absolute garbage. And he's playing so many. He's playing so many people out of position, just way out of position. You won't be losing to us. You won't be losing. Nah. Well, yeah. That were a surprise, wasn't it? Yeah. I was well surprised at that. I actually bet on 4-0. I actually bet on 4-0. I put a bet on the internet, and I lost my bet. We won. How dare we win? I couldn't believe it. But we're hopeless. Absolutely hopeless. So, but it's an interesting one in the League One games so far are actually looking quite. They're very similar. You got Exeter with 68, between 68 and 78% possession, and they're winning 1-0. And then you've got Wigan away at Lincoln, and they've got about 68% possession, and they're but there's no shots on goal. There's very few shots on goal in either game, and it's really weird.
Hayden Hackney, he's going to skip away from Chris Rigg. A little bit too easy there. Tries to play it
Yeah.
towards Filizan. Ball's been given away.
Yeah, I think we managed to play you at the right time. Put it that way.
Ball under control, and it's out of play for a throw-in on the far side. Disappointing there from
So what did I say? What did I say in my?
Will continue with George Edmondson along the Middlesbrough backline. Inside it now.
You see, I've said Huddersfield 3, Northampton 0. And every single person I've spoke to and every message I've got back, the lowest score I've got is Huddersfield 2,
Big contrast in
Northampton 0. I just can't see them scoring. I can't see Northampton scoring. They played really. You have to be careful. They did play really well last week, and they played really well the week before. They've just been really unlucky with who they've been playing, and I think if they'd have played the last two games several times, they'd have got a by far better. Yeah, they actually they've been playing really well, Northampton. And there's that little bit in the side of me, that I just think, but could they actually do something? Because Northampton they've just been really unlucky, and I can see them doing something, but it's Huddersfield, and you can't really write Huddersfield off at home, can you? Not against a side like Northampton. But hey, I've said that. What do you reckon of Rotherham Birmingham got? Go on, give me your score for Rotherham Birmingham, and don't laugh. I said 4-0. I've actually said 4-0. So that was my guess. But I just cannot see. I can't see Rotherham scoring, and I can't see Birmingham not scoring. Sunderland have scored. Sunderland have scored. They've been battering the Middlesbrough goal for the last 10 minutes, I think, and eventually. 17 years of age he scores from. Transfer that one. So Sunderland now 1-0. So I think it's going to be a very close race between. Ooh, that's a good score for us. That yeah. If we lose by less than 2 or 3, then if we lose by 1 or 2, that'll be okay. But yeah, he's already started spreading the. What was the last comment he made? Our boss made about the Birmingham was about a couple of days ago, where he called them the Real Madrid of League One. So he's basically lining himself up to say, well, we did lose against Real Madrid, you know. Oh, and we've had another goal in the Championship, and it's at Norwich again, and this time it's gone the other way. We'll go and have a look at who it is. We'll go and have a look at who it is in a minute. And just put it up on here. It's nice to have it nice and slow. Last week's watch along was just manic. But 4 or 5 goals all in 1 minute, and you think, oh shit, I will type that one in. But yeah. So, ooh, that's interesting. Oh, that's not good. Watford have have had to substitute their goalkeeper and Serialta from defence. So 13 and 9 minutes. So they've lost a defender and and their goalkeeper. And Bond and Porthouse has come on. So now they got Bond in goal. Andrews has just scored for Watford. Doyle scored for Norwich. That doesn't sound too good for Watford. With Bachmann out, if Bachmann is out, then that's going to be just at the point where Watford have started to jitter a little bit. Having a goalkeeper out is not a good, not good news. Let's see if I've got anything news-wise on Sky. So I like to have several different openings, so we can try and have a look at the reasons here. So we go for the full commentary. We'll see. Yeah, he's injured. So the Serialta's injured. Yeah, both substituted because of a bad injury. So Serialta and Daniel Bachmann are both off because of an injury. Now, as you know, you don't take goalkeepers off unless you're really badly injured. So that's going to be quite a miss if he's out for more than one game. Because he was certainly, I think he was one of the goalkeepers I liked in that division. So Chelsea are now 2-0 up. Let's go to the Lincoln-Wigan game. Let's go and have a look at the Lincoln-Wigan game. Middlesbrough attacking. Oh, Azaz nearly gets through, but O'Nien does the right thing this time instead of he nearly let them in like a few minutes ago. But Luke O'Nien's had a pretty bad game so far. He's been doing some rather odd defending tactics and not doing too well around the box. At the minute, now Wigan were, and they still are. Wigan has still got 67% possession, but with the thing is for me, 33% possession for Lincoln. Yet they've had 2 shots and 1 on target, and yet you've got Wigan with 67% possession, 3 shots, 1 on target. So they both had 1 shot on target. And at the end of the day, I keep saying it. I said it all last weekend. Like, if you don't get the bloody ball on target, you ain't going to score. It's like Rotherham. I don't know how many shots we had against you lot, but we've been shooting about 19, 20 times. Not 19, 20 shots, and how many's on target? In the first game, none. We had 19 shots against Exeter and none on target. And you think, what a load of crap. How the hell can you think of winning if you're just belting the ball somewhere in the vague direction of the net and 19 shots and 0 on target? And I've seen loads of League One clubs that do just that, and they look really impressive, and it's really fun to watch as a neutral. But as a fan of that team, it's an absolute pain in the arse. I mean, like, Rotherham's doing really well. With the number of shots on goal, we must be one of the top for number of shots on goal. But we're absolutely hopeless at putting it in the net. And he's playing the wrong tactics. So what he's doing is he's trying to lob it forward to Clark Harris. He likes it playing to his feet, not lobbed forward over the bloody top. And it's really annoying the fans. The fans are just thinking, why have we got a really top class striker and we're not supplying him to the feet? We're sort of lobbing it forward over the top. So it's been a bit... Oof. Latte, no. Borg and Latte Lat, they're trying to fight over the ball to give it in, put it into the net. I think that's the trouble, isn't it? You see a lot of a lot of players at the front, especially strikers, that they want to score, and even if they've got an easy option to the left or right, unless you're in the Premier League, they try and keep the ball and try and just push their way in, and that's just what Borges has done there. He could have passed it to Latte Lat, but I can score, and he doesn't, and it does. And I see it a lot in League One, and you see it a fair bit in Championship, lower end of the Championship. I saw it a lot from Sheffield Wednesday, I think, last year. An awful lot from Sheffield Wednesday last year. But when you go into the Premier League, it disappears. They seem to, most of the time, not always, but most of the time, they pass it. And they work as a team. But we've still got 67% possession to Wigan, and we'll actually have a quick look at the what's happening. Lincoln have the ball in defence at the minute with Aragon. Passes it forward, but it's Thomas that grabs that one. Bit of a couple of challenges between Derrickwa and a Wigan player. Back to Jackson. See, Sunderland are coming forward there, straight to Rig, and they're straight for a shot. And it's pushed out for a throw-in. And you think, they've got the confidence, Sunderland, at the minute, and they're at home, to just get straight in and belt the ball at goal. And they do tend to hit the target. So it's exciting play, it's nice to watch, and as a neutral, that sounds like that game would actually be quite a decent one to be at watching. So Aimson for Wigan, cross to Kerr. Will they belt it down the middle? Carragher on the right, Kerr in the middle. They're going to belt it. Yeah, they belted it down O'Connor. We know what Wigan are like. Now you know what Wigan's like, town fan. They're playing it along just behind the midfield line and then belting it across the middle. And then whenever they get the ball and they think they're under pressure, they just kick it out for a throw-in. I was saying before you came on, when Rotherham played Wigan about 3 years ago, we had 38 minutes play in the game. 38 minutes gameplay. The rest of the time the ball was out. And Wigan don't seem to be playing any differently. They seem to have just carried on with the same flipping annoying gameplay. The trouble is, when they play someone, Town should be able to play Wigan pretty well, shouldn't they? Because Huddersfield are quite good against teams that just belt it down the middle, from what I can remember. Anybody that belts it down the middle, got a pretty good tall back line, haven't you? So we've got Chambers on the left wing. Let's see whether they pass it into the middle or lob it down the. I think it's a free kick to Wigan. So they're going to get a free kick and they're going to lob it into the middle. Wait for the free kick. So Ryan Andrews was the one that scored for Watford. Drinks break at Sunderland. Drinks break at It's not that bloody hot, is it? A drinks break at Sunderland. My God, I hope it's non-alcoholic. Rankin, straight in and a shot from Rankin. And they're keeping it in. Thomas and Derrickwa grabs it for Lincoln City. Bit of a panic there as Wigan lobbed it into the box. It's a goal kick to Lincoln. And yeah, they're choosing every opportunity, Wigan, to lob it forward. And I said Exeter there because They do exactly the same. Oh, there's been a goal in the Championship. Yeah, you didn't remind me about that one. We'll put that one on here. It's a goal at QPR. And it's QPR 0, Millwall 1. And Millwall, who have been playing, they've been improving quite a bit. And that was going to be an interesting game, I thought, because it's one of those quite tightly matched. And it's now QPR 0, Millwall 1. It's literally just gone in. Millwall are now 4-9 on to win. QPR are 7-1 against. Wish he'd stop telling me to go and get my copy of the New York Talk. I'm not up there. So Lincoln City, at the minute they're a little bit under the cosh. They seem to be able to play. They've managed to say that, and they've gone straight forward down the left to Jeffries, back to Connor, back to O'Connor, and they'll build from the back again. They keep trying to get down that left wing, pass it forward down the middle this time, but then it gets kicked out for a throw-in. So Wigan are pretty much okay with it at the minute. They're controlling the game nicely. Stats, yeah. The Lincoln are starting to come back into it, but not in a great by a great deal. So Norwich 1, Watford 1. Whoa. I've not changed that. Tell me I've not changed the Watford game. I thought, oh yeah, I've done. Have I not transitioned it? Checking the ribbon. I'm sure I put Norwich 1, Watford 1. Yeah. Norwich 1, Watford 1. QPR 0, Millwall 1. Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 0. But Middlesbrough are pushing quite hard at the minute. Sunderland are pretty much odds on to win that now. Exeter 1, Stevenage 0. Again, Exeter's odds on to win it. They did have about 70% possession. Let's have a quick look. Yeah. Oh, it's come down now. So Exeter now have 67% possession, but it's still a hell of a lot more than what Stevenage have. Oh, and now it's not. They've not given the lead against QPR. It's now 1-1. So, wow. It's now QPR 1, Millwall 1. So QPR have scored. Let's do that, and then we'll transition that. And we will look at who's just scored for Millwall. So Millwall have just scored. Who scored? Right, it's Frey. So Frey scored. Their number 9 scored. Well, their striker scored. Frey. 40 minutes. See again, Latte Lat chose to go alone rather than pass it, and that's something that I've noticed in other divisions, and it's strange that Millwall are doing it because they're sort of lower Premier League, upper Championship realistically, and for someone like Latte Lat to do something like that and be now we've seen both their two strikers up front do the same trick, not pass it to each other and lose the ball because of a poorish shot, when actually they would have been better passing it. So we're now on 41 minutes. We'll be stopping for a break in a minute, in about 4 or 5 minutes for half time. Do stay connected. Like and subscribe. I need loads of likes. I need loads of subscriptions. Oh dear. We try and keep ahead. We've got Sunderland, Middlesbrough on here, and Patterson's got the ball for Sunderland. But what are the stats in this then? 36% possession to Sunderland, 64 to Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough losing. 5 shots for Sunderland, 1 on target, 1 goal. 6 shots for Middlesbrough, 1 on target, no goals. 2 corners each. Mundle. Ah, he goes for goal. He goes for goal. He's done the same. You have to think if Mundle and Bellingham could have just like Latte Lat, the other side. It's as Christ, it's end to end at Sunderland. The Sunderland game is just like from one end to the other. just completely frantic. It's now 6 shots each. Sunderland just happened to have got one of their 2 goals, 2 shots on target in the net. I don't know how Middlesbrough haven't scored, apart from the fact that they seem to be Latte Lat, and Latte Lat seems to be a bit. He's keeping the ball rather than sort of passing it. When he could pass it, he's not passing it across. See, Borge did it. I mean, I know he's a defender, but Borge did it, and he must have gone for glory because, well, he's not going to get many goals, is he? So he might as well, instead of passing it sideways to Latte Lat, he's shot and fluffed it up. And then Latte Lat did the same then with Azaz. You know, he could have passed it to Latte Lat apparently, but he's not. He's just gone for glory and brought a decent save from the goalkeeper. Yeah, Borough not doing too well there. Accrington Stanley 2, Port Vale 0. Chesterfield 1, Cheltenham 0. How about that? Man United Women 3, West Ham Women 0. I just saw a goal going. I had to say it. So this afternoon we'll be doing, I think about just before about half an hour before, so about 20. I think we're doing about 25 past 2. We're doing a live stream for the 3 o'clock games, and we'll be going through all the different team sheets. We'll try and get through every single team sheet in that just over half an hour, and we try and make sure we can. Come up with any last minute thoughts on their who we prefer. So it's still Norwich 1, Watford. Well, let's have a look at Norwich. Well, I've not been into Norwich Watford for the actual game side of it. 60-40 on stats to Norwich, but Watford don't. It's quite even on gameplay and it's quite even on shots. So Cordoba, McLean for Norwich in the centre circle. Clean to Cordoba. Cordoba. Oh, quite off from the left side to the right side for Cormac. And it goes out for it, misses it, and it goes out for a Watford throw-in. So Watford have a throw-in in their own half on the left. 3 minutes extra time there, so that's 40. There are 40 seconds left at Norwich. Doesn't look like Watford really want to take this throw. Oh, long throw, but Duffy cuts out, bashes it out for another Watford throw in the Norwich half this time. Short to Vata. Fisher grabs it, pushes it back to McLean for Norwich. And he pushes it forward. It's a goal! Goal for Norwich. And McLean passes it straight down there. And McLean had the ball well in his own half. And it just went straight down the other end and straight in the net. And it's all of a sudden, it's Norwich City 2, Watford 1. So let's update that one. Ooh, that sounded like a possible penalty at Sunderland. Over the bar by Latte Lat. 2-on-1 with the goalkeeper, and he belts it over the bar. Latte Lat fluffs it at the last minute. Oh hell! What have we got anyway? That's that one. So that's. I want to see. There's not showing me who scored it yet. The Norwich game. So commentary. Saints scores for Norwich at in 45 plus 3. So Borg Saints. So Borg Saints has added to Doyle's goal to make it a 2-1 half-time lead for Norwich City. As usual, as you can imagine, Sky Sports is miles behind. So we've got half-time, Norwich City 2, Watford 1, a last-minute goal for Norwich to take the lead all the way from well inside their own half. Straight forward and straight. They just cut through the defence apparently and took them way off. Way out of. They didn't even see it coming. QPR 1, Millwall 1, Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 0. But Middlesbrough are just they've been the strikers and even the defenders, the boys in defence, being a bit selfish and just. Instead, there's been a couple of times, at least 3 times, where they could have just passed it sideways and it would have been an easy goal. And that last one there, Latte Lat had 2-on-1 with the goalkeeper, and Latte Lat's just belted it, and it's oh dear, it's gone way high. And you think, you're 2-1. You should always be able to get it in the net if you're 2-1 on with the goalkeeper, because you can pass the fucking ball. Oh, that does annoy me as a fan. But yeah, Borough at the minute are masters of their own downfall, and so that's 1-0 to Sunderland. The other 2 games, the Lincoln City 0, Wigan 0. That's half time. We can just go to Exeter Stevenage, where Exeter had most of the play. 67% possession. They're still on 67%. They were struggling to get a shot on target, to be quite honest. And all of a sudden they had 2 on target and 1 went in the net. And for a while it was only Stevenage shooting. And then all of a sudden, Exeter seemed to find a way over the top. They scored from a corner. And at the minute, it is Exeter 1, Stevenage 0. Sweeney, Doyle, Costa Macmillan, and he nearly scores for Exeter. Exeter nearly made it 2-0 on 50 minutes. Wild in there with the ball for Stevenage. You want to kick it out, won't he? So we're just waiting for the Exeter game to finish. I set up the other, that one. Cooper. It's actually 51 minutes of 4 minutes added time, so this is ridiculous, isn't it? I don't know what they've had in the last 4 minutes, but they've had 6 minutes of 4 minutes added time. They've now had 7 minutes of 4 minutes added time, which is... The trouble is, when I've seen Rotherham do this, it's always we always lose the game in the last X minutes plus 7. I remember winning. We were winning Norwich away and 2-1, and we lost 3-2, and they scored 2. One in 90 minutes plus 6, and one in 90 minutes plus 7. And I was like, oh, bloody hell, we were winning some. But now 52 minutes of 49 minutes play. Macmillan for Exeter. No, it's throw in. It's not been called yet. Throw in to Stevenage on the right. And it is. It's Exeter 1, Stevenage 0 at half time. We are now going to just stay with us. We're going to have a short interlude. There we are. Put that on there. We will be right back after I've had a coffee, and we'll leave you with the update from Sunderland. And I shall see you in a bit when the second half starts. Thank you for watching.
And then beyond the back post, he had the awareness to backheel it into the back of the Middlesbrough, hit the bar, but not really challenged. At half-time, it's Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 0. Half-time and Sunderland lead at Middlesbrough by a goal to 0, thanks to a brilliant backheel from Chris Rigg, his first championship goal of the season. A mix-up really from Luke Ayling initially, and then when the cross came in from my end, George Edmondson, a complete mishap in the middle of the penalty area, allowed Chris Rigg to take it round Senny Dieng, and then beyond the back post, he had the awareness to backheel it into the back of the Middlesbrough, hit the bar, but not really challenged. At half-time, it's Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 0. Half-time and Sunderland lead at Middlesbrough by a goal to 0, thanks to a brilliant backheel from Chris Rigg, his first championship goal of the season. A mix-up really from Luke Ayling initially, and then when the cross came in from my end, George Edmondson, a complete mishap in the middle of the penalty area, allowed Chris Rigg to take it round Senny Dieng, and then beyond the back post, he had the awareness to backheel it into the back of the Middlesbrough, hit the bar, but not really challenged. At half-time, it's Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 0. Half-time and Sunderland lead at Middlesbrough by a goal to 0, thanks to a brilliant backheel from Chris Rigg, his first championship goal of the season. A mix-up really from Luke Ayling initially, and then when the cross came in from my end, George Edmondson, a complete mishap in the middle of the penalty area, allowed Chris Rigg to take it round Senny Dieng, and then beyond the back post, he had the awareness to backheel it into the back of the Middlesbrough, hit the bar, but not really challenged. At half-time, it's Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 0. Half-time and Sunderland lead at Middlesbrough by a goal to nil thanks to a brilliant back heel from Chris Rigg, his first championship goal of the season. A mix-up really from Luke Ayling initially, and then when the cross came in from my end, George Edmondson, a complete mishap in the middle of the penalty area, allowed Chris Rigg to take it round Seny Dieng, and then beyond the back post he had the awareness to back heel it into the back of the Middlesbrough, hit the bar but not really challenged. At half-time it's Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 0. Half-time and Sunderland lead at Middlesbrough by a goal to nil thanks to a brilliant back heel from Chris Rigg, his first championship goal of the season. A mix-up really from Luke Ayling initially, and then when the cross came in from my end, George Edmondson, a complete mishap in the middle of the penalty area, allowed Chris Rigg to take it round Seny Dieng, and then beyond the back post he had the awareness to back heel it into the back of the Middlesbrough, hit the bar but not really challenged. At half-time it's Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 0. Half-time and Sunderland lead at Middlesbrough by a goal to nil thanks to a brilliant back heel from Chris Rigg, his first championship goal of the season. A mix-up really from Luke Ayling initially, and then when the cross came in from my end, George Edmondson, a complete mishap in the middle of the penalty area, allowed Chris Rigg to take it round Seny Dieng, and then beyond the back post he had the awareness to back heel it into the back of the Middlesbrough, hit the bar but not really challenged. At half-time it's Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 0. Half-time and Sunderland lead at Middlesbrough by a goal to nil thanks to a brilliant back heel from Chris Rigg, his first championship goal of the season. A mix-up really from Luke Ayling initially, and then when the cross came in from my end, George Edmondson, a complete mishap in the middle of the penalty area, allowed Chris Rigg to take it round Seny Dieng, and then beyond the back post he had the awareness to back heel it into the back of the Middlesbrough, hit the bar but not really challenged. At half-time it's Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 0. Half-time and Sunderland lead at Middlesbrough by a goal to nil thanks to a brilliant back heel from Chris Rigg, his first championship goal of the season. A mix-up really from Luke Ayling initially, and then when the cross came in from my end, George Edmondson, a complete mishap in the middle of the penalty area, allowed Chris Rigg to take it round Seny Dieng, and then beyond the back post he had the awareness to back heel it into the back of the Middlesbrough, hit the bar but not really challenged. At half-time it's Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 0. Half-time and Sunderland lead at Middlesbrough by a goal to nil thanks to a brilliant back heel from Chris Rigg, his first championship goal of the season. A mix-up really from Luke Ayling initially, and then when the cross came in from my end, George Edmondson, a complete mishap in the middle of the penalty area, allowed Chris Rigg to take it round Seny Dieng, and then beyond the back post he had the awareness to back heel it into the back of the Middlesbrough, hit the bar but not really challenged. At half-time it's Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 0. Half-time and Sunderland lead at Middlesbrough by a goal to nil thanks to a brilliant back heel from Chris Rigg, his first championship goal of the season. A mix-up really from Luke Ayling initially, and then when the cross came in from my end, George Edmondson, a complete mishap in the middle of the penalty area, allowed Chris Rigg to take it round Seny Dieng, and then beyond the back post he had the awareness to back heel it into the back of the Middlesbrough, hit the bar but not really challenged. At half-time it's Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 0. Half-time and Sunderland lead at Middlesbrough by a goal to nil thanks to a brilliant back heel from Chris Rigg, his first championship goal of the season. A mix-up really from Luke Ayling initially, and then when the cross came in from
Well, we'll be back on soon. Turn that down now. The interesting thing is that both Exeter and Wigan in League One are both the sort of teams to welly it down the middle, and they're both the sort of teams to just has historically spent more time off the pitch than it has on, and I think they played about 54 minutes of that first half there, so that's It's so Exeter. It's just so Exeter. Wigan, I'm surprised at the lack of extra time, the extra time at Wigan, because I would have expected both the Exeter game and the Lincoln-Wigan game both to spend an awful lot more time in extra time, because they are looking at that now, the refs, and starting to add time on equivalent to the amount of time it's actually off the pitch. But it seems to have happened at Exeter with that sort of They were given 4 minutes extra time, but I think it ended up with it being about 8 or 9 minutes extra time. So, yeah. But the Wigan one seems to have finished not too bad, not too far over, which is strange because they were actually the first side I really saw doing it every game back when they were before they got promoted to the Championship. So that's an interesting thought, because if they finish that 8-9 minutes late, then by the end of the second half, God only knows when they're going to be finishing the game. And with 3 o'clock kickoffs coming straight after, I need to go through all the different bloody teams. There's going to be God only knows. If they're 15 minutes late, then that's 2:30 before they're going to finish. Oh. So we shall see. If they finish at 2:15, that's so be it. Doesn't give me much time to get things ready. Nobody's started yet. Oh yeah, we have. We've Lincoln City. See, the first team to start, and it's really, really weird. Lincoln City have started. So 66% possession to Wigan so far. Let's just see how the first bit of the second half starts with. It's Lincoln City who started it. They're in defence down the house down the right hand side. And a free kick to Lincoln City with the looks of it. Kicks it forward, but it's gone to Amerson and Carragher on the right hand side. They've switched sides to the right. And Wigan will try and bring it down the right hand side. No, it's crossed it to the left, to the right. Right, crikey, they're straight down the middle. And Bayliss grabs that for Lincoln. See, Bayliss, I'm quite impressed by Bayliss last year, so quite a good player, and Derikwa certainly is. Down the right-hand side for Lincoln, but Amerson grabs that, tries threading it back, but Grandles grabs it for Lincoln, passes it back, threads it through down the right, but they just lose it to Asgard. Tries running with it, and it's a Wigan throw-in. Arahan grabs it for Lincoln. And at the minute, they just seem to be feeling each other out here and just trying to do one or two little cheeky little passes through that defence, through each other's defence. Wigan, Rankin on the right hand side. They're actually trying to play it through. Now, this well, they had a shot, but it's miles off from Lincoln City goalkeeper kick for that one. Wigan don't appear. They did start. They started by kicking it down the middle. They certainly did. I was looking at the stats, and they were kicking it down the middle. The first two attacks there of the second half, they haven't. They've been playing it down the wings, which is possibly why they've had such a lack of extra time, which is what they were renowned for. Grandles for Lincoln. Arahan in the middle. Down to the left, Jeffries kicks it, and it's out for a Wigan throw on their back right. So 48 minutes, coming up to 49 minutes now at Lincoln, and it's still 0-0. I think the stats sort of speak for themselves. They've each had one shot on target. So Lincoln City have had one shot on target. Wigan have had one shot on target, which is quite strange because Wigan have got 66% possession and they've only had one shot on target so far. But it comes back to, like I said about Rotherham in the Exeter game. I think it was 19 shots, none on target. You know, It doesn't matter how many times you welly it forward. If you don't get it on target, you ain't gonna get you're not gonna score, are you? You don't have no bloody chance in hell. And that's what's happening at Lincoln Wigan. They're just not. There's one shot each on target. Wigan have had 5 shots, just 1 on target. So let's have a look at the other games. So they must be starting now. Norwich hasn't started. Norwich hasn't started. QPR has just started. Sunderland has started. Lincoln obviously has. That's into 50 minutes now. See, Lincoln's on 50 minutes. Exeter hasn't even started yet. Watford away at Norwich hasn't. Let's go to QPR. Millwall. So we see a time. Let's see if there's any lineup changes at half time. Nope, nothing. No changes at all there. Powell for QPR pushes it forward, but it goes out, and it's a Millwall throw-in on their about halfway line on their right. Pushes it forward, but Clark Salter kicks it out, but only as far as Saville. Kicks it back, and Clark Salter gathers it again. Wow. Good bit of defending by Clark Salter. Passing along the back. I think he's got a free kick there for QPR. Powell, Clark Salter. Doing it short to Cook. Nardi. Clark Salter, fielder, just around midfield, sort of front defence, back midfield, sort of defensive midfield area, if you like. Salter, Sater, Salter. Oh, pushes it forward, and Jensen kicks that one out. That was actually quite a good pass there, I think. 48 minutes now. QPR are building quite nicely from the back, and they are actually getting a way through, which is actually quite good. I think it's they're showing the nous, as we'd say up north. I think town fan. They're showing a bit of nous. So QPR at the minute are just on top as Millwall welly it forward, and it's back with QPR. Oh, loses it to Honeyman, but Field grabs it back again, and Field for QPR. See if they build it before we move on to another game. We'll turn that up a little bit and listen to the Sunderland game. Let's go out. Chelsea now 3-0 up. We got let's have the Norwich game. That should be started by now. It's not started yet. No. That's strange how that's not started yet. See, the Watford game wasn't the last to finish, and yet it hasn't started yet. And yet Exeter has started. So we go to Exeter. Exeter is now in the 46th minute, which is strange. Oh, Roberts grabs it for Stevenage. Can Stevenage equalise? They got it in just behind the box. They're trying to pass it around midfield. Back with Roberts again.
Inside now to George Edmondson, who's going to play onto the right side for Ayling. Back inside to Hackney, quick ball to Edmondson, and to Clark inside the centre circle. Morris was
And it's a goal for Cheltenham. What's that one? Cheltenham's equalised against Chesterfield. And it's all the way back from Exeter. Gather that in the goal. Exeter. So Exeter are. I say Exeter are on the back foot at the minute. So Stevenage are certainly pressing more, and they're starting to try and make headways into that last final third. Which is it making any difference to the stats? Well, no. Exeter still got 68% possession, but and you see again Freeman for Stevenage. Stevenage are making some headway now in the.
What an effort that was from Patrick Roberts, just wide of the post, completely caught me off guard with an effort. I think he caught Middlesbrough off guard as well.
Well, Sunderland nearly make it too.
For the strike there from that angle, but a really not a bad effort at all there from Patrick Roberts. We'll see from this angle how far away was he from finding the back of the net. He said he was nowhere near. Maybe a little bit wider than it looked initially, but nonetheless a really, really good effort from Patrick Roberts, and very, very unfortunate to not find the back of the net. Middlesbrough have picked themselves up a free kick on the near side. They're taking quickly.
At the minute, it looks like Sunderland are starting the second half the better of the two teams. Borough now trying to. The Borges is playing really high up. Neto Borges is probably playing quite a fast wing position at the minute, and he's doing quite a good job of it. But he, like I say, he was a bit selfish last time and just didn't manage to do the right option.
Now with Chris Rigg, what can he do with this here? Does well to hold on to it, and then he's tackled well by Neto Borges, and Trey Hume left to pick up the pieces.
See, Borges there is actually in defence, and he's doing a good job in defence, and he's doing an equally good job as a sort of, I wouldn't say striker, but certainly as a creator. Exeter in attack. Niskanen. Oh, excellent! It's in the net. It's in the net, and it's a goal for Exeter. Exeter just scored a second, and Exeter's initial good start, followed by a bit of a stutter, has appeared to have paid off today. And Exeter now go 2-0 ahead. Exeter 2, Stevenage 0. So we're at the right game there. And the other games is still Norwich City 2, Watford 1. I'm watching my ticker as it goes through down the bottom, making sure it's got the right scores on it. QPR 1, Millwall 1, and Sunderland 1, Borough 0. And in the first division, it's Exeter 2, Stevenage 0, and Lincoln City 0-0 with Wigan. Oh yeah, Richie knows, going mad. Who scored for Exeter? Let's have a go. Exeter 50 minutes, and it's Kamari Doyle. So Kamari Doyle and Francis on 9 minutes. It does look like Exeter will come away with the spoils there. My worry there is that they're going to start beating it out again, and we're going to see a sort of 15-16 minute extra time. We will go to Watford because Norwich Watford did eventually start. One wonders why it was so late, as Nunes had a shot off target. Pretty even, to be quite honest. Norwich City have had 6 shots on target, Watford 3. Shots in total: Norwich 12, Watford 7. 59% possession to Norwich. I suppose it is 2-1 is probably about right for the amount of stats we've got. It's West Ham 0, Chelsea 3. If anybody's interested in that one. Let's go Sunderland. Let's go look at my stats on the Sunderland game. You wouldn't believe it. Middlesbrough have actually had 63% possession in this. If you've been listening to this game, you wouldn't guess that Middlesbrough have got 2/3 of the possession. Sunderland 7 shots, 2 on target. Middlesbrough 8 shots, 1 on target. But at least 2 or 3 events where they could have passed the ball and it been an easy goal. There was one near the end where Latte Lat was 2-on-1 with the Sunderland goalkeeper, and Latte Lat decided to take it, and when it blasted it high, and you think, no, pass it. Middlesbrough's XG has actually is now better than Sunderland's, which is quite strange because they.
Where they are on the pitch, but nonetheless a good opportunity to get the ball to the penalty area. They do take it short, then find Patrick Roberts, who sends it towards the back post towards Chris Medbum, but he can't do anything with it from that angle, and out of play.
Just nothing.
Goal kick, I should say, sorry. At the back post, we'll see a replay of it here. Medbum.
So we're listening to a Sunderland game.
It's difficult to tell. That free kick, they're trying to make the most of it. Sunderland from a difficult angle. Often they're looking towards the back post from these set pieces.
I know that the Stadium of Light can be very, very difficult to play in, can't it? The fans there make it I think it's a right cauldron. Somebody said that last year that they sold something like it was tens of thousands of season tickets that have been applied for. Bloody hell! I think it works out at something like a quarter of the entire borough of Rotherham had applied for a season ticket at Sunderland, and you think, amazing support. They really do. Oh, Norwich versus. I was going to say something happened at Norwich, and it's been a goal. I knew something had happened. The odds disappeared, and it's now Norwich 3. It's Norwich 3, Watford 0, Watford 1. So we'll change that, and we'll go straight in to see who scored it. Put that into there. 53 minutes, 48 seconds, and we have got another goal. So for Norwich, no, we've not got that there yet. I'm going to try it with the other system there. So here's why we always have lots of different options. And then you can easily hopefully easily come up with the information. He's not even got on. Oh, he has got. Nunes has scored on 54. So yeah, I would expect Nunes to score at some point. Once they get 2-1 up, Nunes is always a threat, isn't he? He's always likely to be either a maker or a scorer. I think. I like him. He's a good footballer. But they got so many good players, and I can't understand why they started so badly. But what I said at the beginning, didn't I, that it's going to be an interesting game, Norwich-Watford, because Watford are doing well, have done well since the beginning, and it's against a Norwich side that should be able to do a hell of a lot better than what they are doing. and yet they just haven't been clicking, and they haven't been playing as well as they can do. And it looks like now, let's look at stats for that. 60% possession to Norwich, 14 shots, 7 on target. Watford, 7 shots, 2 on target, 1 goal. Joe Bellingham? No. So it doesn't look very good for Watford. Ryan Andrews scoring on 26 minutes to equalise, but unfortunately just not really making anything of the game at the minute. QPR Millwall's an interesting one. As Millwall attack, shoots, but it's gathered by the goalkeeper. QPR playing it from the back. They tried reacting straight down the middle, but Cooper grabs it eventually in Millwall's defence. It was an interesting little turnaround of play there by QPR. Millwall have a shot. QPR get it straight down the right hand side. Try crossing it into the middle, but they lose it. So they're not afraid of that counter attack, QPR, at the minute. 60% possession to QPR. Now look, listen to this. QPR, 60% possession, 5 shots, 2 on target, 1 goal. Millwall, 40% possession, 11 shots on target, 11 shots, 5 on target, 1 goal. So the conversion rate, shots on target to goals, is great for QPR. Millwall, not so great. But at least they're getting shots on target. 11 shots, 5 on target is actually pretty good. So Hell's playing at the minute. Denor down the right hand side for Millwall. Langstaff works his way into the corner. Borges.
Brilliant challenge once again, really good defending from the midfielder. And now Sunderland can come forward. Patrick Roberts gets away from Matthew Clark. No, he doesn't. Good recovery challenge from the centre.
It sounds like a lot of hard challenges at Sunderland, and the referee is actually letting the game play on. I don't know whether you noticed it, but there was a game, I forgot which game it was now. I think it was last week, where one of the games got about 14 yellow cards, and then the Portsmouth one got 8. They've been told to clamp down on anybody on any sign of dissent. So now it sounds like that they're just showing yellow cards as soon as anybody says anything to the referee. So be very careful. Especially Rotherham with Hugill, who goes into the box and immediately dives on the floor. He's not going to get away with it. They're looking for it now a little bit more. QPR in defence. Salter. Cook to Nardi. QPR just passing it around that defence at the minute. Salter, Madsen, Nardi, Cook to the left, to the right. It's gone out. Millwall throwing. So they're trying to be too clever, I think. They're just trying to pass it left to right, and then Millwall managed to grab that and force it out for a throw-in. And Millwall are now trying to push it.
Norwich is now 3-1 up against Watford. Nunes with the third goal there. It's still 1-1 between QPR and Millwall. And Play continues with Sunderland in possession.
So at the minute, QPR Millwall has died a bit. I must admit, it's not really looking like there's going to be any more than the 2 goals. It's gonna. If I say it's gonna stay 1-1, I bet you a goal comes. Right, bet you. I bet you a goal comes. As soon as I say that's definite for a 1-1 draw. And at 4 to 5 odds, that's not bad. The Exeter to Stevenage 0. Oh, Bellingham now. Bellingham just hasn't been. He's been getting into positions, but he's not been getting them on target. And when he has, it's been not a difficult one to save. So it's not doing too well. He's tackling really well, but he's just not letting on those creating or scoring the goals or getting the goals on target. We go to Lincoln Wigan. Wigan are still 63% possession up, but it's only it's still 1 shot each on target at the Lincoln game. A 1 shot on target for Lincoln, 1 shot on target for Wigan, and how many minutes? 71 minutes. That is just. Let's try and get a goal for one of the teams. Let's just say I think it's going to be Lincoln 0, Wigan 0. And I just wait now sit and wait for the goal to go in. As Lincoln City pass it at the back, O'Connor. Rough. Oh, try it down. Push down the left to House, but Kerr gets it. Pass it to Carragher on the right. Pushes it. Oh, nice thread through, but G-Cock for Lincoln. Grabs it in defence. Tries walking it out of the... Yep, he's done it. O'Connor. Jeffries down the left. Carragher grabs it, kicks it out, and it's a Lincoln City throw on the left-hand side. Just after halfway. 72 minutes. To Moylan. Moylan for Lincoln City. Erhan. Can they do something here? They're outside the Wigan box. Passing it back to midfield. Lincoln City taking the time. But they're just not able to get past that midfield, and it just goes through and out for a Wigan goal kick. Just not quite able to get anything there. Look at something. Still 3-0 to Chelsea. Norwich 3, Watford 1, QPR 1, Millwall 1, Sunderland 1, Borough 0, but Borough are now pushing hard as Wigan have a shot. And Derikwa manages to walk off with it, so it wasn't that hard. And into League 1, it's Exeter 2, Stevenage 0, and Lincoln 0, Wigan 0. Wigan. Ooh, they let Lincoln in down the side, but cross across the goal, and Moylan comes back, but only as far as Moylan. Erhan just outside the Wigan box, and they're pressurising now. Lincoln. Oh, Tickle, Sam Tickle, the goalkeeper for Wigan, grabs that one, and it was so close to Lincoln City opening the game there. Back to O'Connor. O'Connor Derrickware on the right hand side, Derrickware to O'Connor, up the left hand side to Jeffries. Jeffries to Weir grabs it back to Kerr. I think Kerr was one of the good players last weekend as well. He was a really good stalwart in defence, and he's doing the same again here as he threads it forward to Smith, and it goes out for a Lincoln City throw in. Wigan are having a substitution. So let's go and see if there's missing anything.
And his goal is a deciding factor. I'm sure we can't complain too much, Chris Rigg, as ball is with Joe Bellingham in the middle of the park.
Still Norwich. Well, let's go to the Norwich one. 3-1 to Norwich.
Onto the right hand side for Patrick Roberts. Can he do anything with the ball? He's driving forward. Does really want to get away from Borges.
66 minutes gone at Norwich. Nunes there with a third goal to make it 3-1 to Norwich.
Really good play from Bellingham there. And then just goes back to Chris Rigg.
Norwich have the ball in their own area. So Cordoba.
And with Chris Rigg, inside to Trey Hume.
They're not in any hurry to play the ball, Norwich. In fact, I was surprised they get a yellow card for messing around like this. They're actually being very, very slow indeed. 54% possession to Norwich. They seem to be just hanging on to it a bit more now. 14 shots, 7 on target. Watford 7 shots, 3 on target. For our people in there, let's have a look. Well, we haven't got anything on the other games yet. Not been loaded anyway, so we'll have to wait on those.
Repeatedly aiming towards the back post of Sunderland at the minute, and it hasn't really worked at all so far this afternoon. So maybe at some point we're going to see some variation. But 72 minutes into the game, we haven't seen any variation.
No, there's no team news as yet. Bit too early. Watford having a substitution. They're going to try and get something back out of this. They're going to have to do a pretty decent change now, because at the minute it's Norwich pretty much in the driving seat. Norwich don't look like they're going to capitulate at any time soon, but I've said that before, and then all of a sudden the team I've said it about capitulate in dramatic fashion. Stevenage started really well against Exeter, and I think, in fact, although they had less possession, they were actually the first team to have a shot on target, and they're still 2-0 down. But they are having shots, and it's just that the accuracy is pretty dismal. There's Freestone has it for Stevenage. They really need to start trying to book their ideas up in that final third as Exeter get it off him and go forward, but it's offside for Exeter. Getting it and pushing it down the middle, which is what they're used to, but yeah. I'd be interested in how that second goal actually arrived, because I think the first one was from a corner. The second one.
Continues with Middlesbrough in the midfield. It's with Hayden Hackney, who, as this game's gone on, has dropped deeper and deeper to pick up the football. Eventually, he's picking the ball up.
Yeah, the second one was for Exeter was straight down the middle, right-footed shot. So yeah, it's one of their typical lob it down the middle shots and straight in the net. Why did I expect that? Stevenage still got the ball, and they're just... Stevenage seem to be getting a really good possession here, but they're just not... Listen to this one. Middlesbrough pushing. Stevenage are pushing as well, but they just can't get past halfway.
Did Middlesbrough, and they played too many passes around the edge of the penalty area, and play's broken down. Although it is with Doak on the right hand side. Can he get himself into the penalty area? Lays it off to Edmondson. Plays it forward to Conway. Can
Stats,
he keep
what we got?
He can't. Bellingham puts a good challenge. But I believe he's given away a corner
So
kick.
Stevenage have brought off Roberts. Do you know they brought off Jordan Roberts and put Daniel Kemp on? Daniel Phillips on instead of King.
Put the ball in.
Tyrese Simpson instead of Jamie Reid. And Ken Obo instead of Elliot List. So they made 4 changes there on the 66 minutes. Which is possibly why I've been saying, like, in the last couple of minutes they've been certainly taking an awful lot more possession, but they're not doing anything with it. They've taken off basically their front end.
Really poor delivery in, easily dealt with by Dan Neal.
That's interesting.
Wasn't up all the way back at Saint-Étienne. Really poor stuff there from Hayden Hackney. And they forced Middlesbrough to restart all the way back to their goalkeeper. Now with Aidan Morris. Can he do anything with this ball? Just going to hold on to it for the moment. Leaves off to Hayden Hackney. Tries to send it towards Bergzorg.
For me, the downside of today has to be Watford's Daniel Backman. Their goalkeepers come off really early on, 19 minutes I think it was, and you have to feel for him because they've been doing so well, and he's one of the players I would say is quite key to them. It's a really good goalkeeper. Let's wait and see how bad the injury is. I hope it's not too bad. I don't like teams doing badly because of injuries. If they're going to do bad, let's have them doing bad because they're playing garbage like Rotherham.
Including Eliza Medeo. That's got to be a foul, indeed it is. Great play from Eliza Maenda. Really poor from Neto Borges. And this is a huge opportunity for Sunderland. 77 minutes on the clock. Matthew Clark looks disappointed himself. I mean, it's nothing he can do if the ball gets given away.
And Borges has been playing really well as well.
He just has to try and put a challenge in. Great touch initially from Eliza Maenda. And then does well. It's very unfortunate not to pick up a penalty. Then we see a replay. Just outside the penalty area. Quite lucky there from Matthew Clark. But really good opportunity here.
I'll see if I can get this on here. This is Sunderland's goal.
It's very close in. As I mentioned, very close to being a penalty. Very central. This is a difficult free kick. But
See if I can get it on there.
Sunderland can work this right, they can be they are in big problems here, Middlesbrough.
Sunderland's goal.
See what Sunderland can do. A goal here will surely kill the game off. Saint-Étienne.
Oh, back heel. Oh, what a back heel. That's the Sunderland goal.
What can they do with this set?
That really was cheeky, wasn't it? Back heel. Oh, but the actual cross in was really good. But that back heel was just, yeah, really cheeky.
Plus an extra 2 from Sunderland to help line it up. It's Mundle. Gonna go for goal! He's in the post! How has it not gone in? He shoved that with such force there, Romain Mundle. Ball not cleared. It's with Joe Bellingham on the left hand side. Can Sunderland trouble the Middlesbrough goal once again? It's with Dan Neal. Plays it to Chris Rigg. He's got Roberts on the right hand side. Uses the winger. Maenda's there waiting for it.
They were queuing for it, I think.
Trying to get away from Neto Borges. Does well to get away from the Brazilian. Still going here. Patrick Roberts inside the penalty area. That's surely got to be a penalty. Simon Hooper says no. That looked like 2 hands in the back.
Oh dear. 2 hands in the back and Sunderland get away with it. They could have had a penalty there.
Last 30 seconds or so in this game. Bendo one-on-one with Romain Mundle. What can the substitute do? Does well to hold on to it. Shifts onto his left foot. Great challenge comes in from Chris Rigg. And he'll just look to get the ball cleared. That's surely got to be a free kick, and indeed it is. Late challenge comes in there on Chris Rigg.
Wow. It's getting a bit heated over at in the Stadium of Light. I think Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 0, and Middlesbrough and Sunderland now trying to get the next goal, and it's nearly had a penalty there. Two hands in the back, and Sunderland really should have the sounds of it had a penalty, but
That's not found the back of the net. I've got no idea.
and then gone straight up the other end, and Middlesbrough do just as good at the other end. So at the minute it's Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 0, but you can't really pay out any. You certainly can't say it's going to stay the same. 80 minutes, 28 seconds gone at the Stadium of Light.
He's been very, very impressive. He's one of the heartbeats of everything that Sunderland have done. He's linked up really well with Chris Griggs.
And you're on John Hess's Sports Channel doing a listen along this time. We've got the Sunderland-Middlesbrough game going. Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 0. We've got all the other scores. Norwich 3, Watford 1, with Nunes scoring the third. QPR 1, Millwall 1. And we've got Exeter just made it 2, Stevenage 0, and Lincoln City 0, Wigan 0. And I've given it my kiss of death. I said it's with one shot each on target for the entire game so far. 85 minutes. I've given it the kiss of death. I said it's going to stay 0-0, which surely means there's going to be a goal in it. Chesterfield 1, Cheltenham 1, if you're interested in that. Accrington Stanley, who are they? 2, Port Vale 0. And it's still West Ham 0, Chelsea 3. Let's have a look at the league, actually. Let's have a look at the table. Sunderland are top with 15 points. Watford are 5th with 10 points. Norwich are... Borough are 10th with 8. Norwich 11th with 8. QPR 13th with 7. Then Millwall 16th with 5. So not too good result for Millwall. They really did need a win here, and they had to try something against a side that ended last season so well. And they've been a bit jittery for me, QPR, and if they could beat anybody away from home, it surely had to be someone like QPR. But as it is, 83 minutes if we go into it, stats are 61% possession to QPR. Millwall, though, with 39% possession, have got 14 shots, twice as many as QPR. But they've only put 5 on target, whereas QPR's only put 2 on target. So, but 1 each. The stats don't match the score. Certainly not. And even the XG 0.65 for QPR, 1.72 for Millwall. So it's the stats certainly don't. The stats certainly seem to be lying at the minute. The stats for the QPR game window. Odds on for a draw at the minute. So another quick look at the other. We're going to go back into that. We're going to actually follow it on the Bet365 just see what's happening. Oh, listen to this one. Oh. Honeyman. Smith blocks it for QPR. Smith for QPR. Oh, it's gone out and it's Millwall throw. Now this is an interesting one. Millwall have got a dangerous throw on their left hand side, right next to the box. So let's see what short to Honeyman. Short to Byron. Back to Honeyman. Back to Byron. Aziz has been playing quite well, I think, from what I've seen. And crosses it, but it's Varane. Byron, Dembele takes it from him. passes it out, and Dembele grabs it back, but Seville takes it from him, passes it back to Tangana. Back to Jensen. Whoa, well is it forward to Saville. Tries to play it sideways, but Frey grabs that one for QPR. And QPR now. Frey walking it into midfield, into the centre circle. Oh, yellow card for Millwall. Lincoln nil. Derrickwa's got a yellow card for Lincoln City. Both sides have done a triple substitution at Lincoln. So Lincoln took Kadamari off and put Makama on. They took Grandles off and put McKiernan on. Bayliss off. Well, they took Bayliss off and put Moylan on. That's interesting. Wigan took Asgard off and put Smith on. Carew got off and put Ramsey on, and Weir off and put Adiko on. So there's a couple of interesting ones there. A couple of strange ones. I thought Bayliss was playing quite well. It's QPR. They've now got a dangerous throw-in. Short to Pal. Oh, crosses it, but it's Jensen. Kicks it out. Brain, Smith. Smith for QPR. Smith for QPR. Is that a corner? They got a corner from that. All the way back to Salter. Lloyd for QPR. Ooh, Leonard grabs that. He's trying to get past the defence, but Salter's tackled him. Oh, no, he's not got it from him. It's Leonard still with the ball. Ivanovic, Cook intercepts that one, and Cook can bring it down the middle. So, doesn't actually look too much in it, but I can't see anyone actually breaking that 1-1 at QPR. Not at the minute. The odds don't seem to be seeing it either. It's 6-1 on for a draw. 9-1 for QPR. 8-1 for Millwall. I'd probably agree with that. If anybody's going to win it, it looks like QPR are just getting further into the box. Millwall tends to fizzle out before it gets to the final third. Norwich City. Duffy right back in the box there. Oh, Hernandez has got an injury for Norwich. Come away for that. That's 84 minutes, and it's an injury at Norwich. 3-1 to the Canaries. Still 1-1 at QPR. We can hear Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 0. I go into this. I'm a few seconds ahead on this, so we'll just see what we got. Bergsorg for Sunderland. It's not given. Yeah. I'm not sure how he's come to that conclusion. It looked to me a corner. We'll see from this replay who's this come off of last. Yeah, good decision by Simon Hooper. That's why I'm commentator, not referee. That's why I'm commentator, not referee. That's why I haven't got his job either. That'd be useless. We're going to go... Oh, is that it? Or is it 90 minutes? I think Lincoln City... Yeah, Lincoln City 0, Wigan 0 is a final score. So Lincoln is a final score. QPR are now on 90 minutes. Let's see how many minutes extra it is at QPR. 5 minutes extra time at QPR. It's 90 minutes 30 seconds at minute, and Denor has it for Millwall. And he gives it to Cooper, and he has a shot on target. Aziz has a shot, and he's belted out, and Dunn gets that one out, and Millwall nearly had a goal there, and they should have scored from that one. Millwall nearly nicking it right at the end, and another 4 minutes. But Aziz nearly scoring there, right at the death. Sunderland, let's see how many minutes extra time it is. It's 3 minutes extra time, and we're on 91 minutes. We can hear Middlesbrough attacking. They're still Bellingham does a Bellingham's kicked it out. Sunderland actually having a substitution. Got 1.5 minutes left, and Sunderland are making a substitution.
But he's gone down holding on to his hamstring. We may need a pause in play here, because I think Chris Rigg has got a little bit of an issue. He's been totally off the pitch by
probably Chris Rigg that gets took off then.
Just from my screen, Chris Rigg has won man of the match.
Chris Rigg is man of the match. Probably gets substituted as well. Exeter 2, Stevenage 0, 88 minutes. Exeter now with a goal kick. 89 minutes clicked on. Let's see how many minutes extra time we get here, because this is going to be the one that has a hell of a lot of extra time. And I want just to see how many. As Cox grabs it for Exeter, Aitchison, Freestone grabs it. Freestone's done really well for Stevenage. Freeman. Exeter's goal kick. Oh dear. Come on, tell me how many minutes extra time. 3 seconds to fight full time at Exeter. Tell me how many. Injury time. 5 minutes. Oh, only 5 minutes extra time at Exeter. I'm quite shocked. But we shall see. 5 minutes extra there. But it doesn't look like they're going to capitulate anytime soon. So we're quickly looking at. It will end up with an Exeter win. Whether it's 2-0 as at the minute, I don't know. But it's Exeter 2, Stevenage 0. It's finished Lincoln 0, Wigan 0. With 1 shot each on goal. Not a game for the football lovers. What Norwich Watford, and there's been a Norwich Watford, and there's been another goal, and it's at Norwich, and it's yet another goal for Norwich. It's now Norwich 4, Watford 1. So Norwich have just scored again. Let's see. I'm probably not going to get it on here quite yet. Sunderland have beat Middlesbrough 1-0. Port Vale have equalised in the last minute against Accrington Stanley 2-2. I just saw that one. I might as well say it is just turned up. Sunderland remain top Sunderland are top. And let's go QPR. That must be finished now. It was dead on 5 minutes. Should be finished. So we have 90 minutes full time. QPR 1, Millwall 1.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match?
Thank you. I have to refresh to get rid of him. So the only ones we've got left are the Wigan and the QPR game. And QPR has, in fact, just finished. So it's QPR 1, Millwall 1. We've got 2 minutes left at Exeter, and it's Exeter 2, Stevenage 0. And the last time I tried going into the Norwich game, they went and got a goal just as I went in. And I haven't actually found out who scored that fourth goal yet. So let's just see. Unless you all know who scored the fourth goal. It is Chrisine on 89 minutes. So they've scored on 3 minutes. It was Doyle. 45 minutes it was Saints. 4:54 it was Nunes, and then on 89 minutes it was Chrisine. He's only just come on actually. 4 minutes before he came on instead of Saints. So they took a goal scorer off, brought Chrisine on, and then he scored a goal. So what an amazing bit of substitution that is. 6 minutes extra time at Norwich, another 4 minutes to go. Not that I think Watford are really going to get. I've seen stranger things happen as Watford go offside, but I don't think it will. I wonder what the odds are. 11-1 for the 6th goal. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's 11-1 against Watford getting the next goal. So Exeter, we can go to Exeter 2-0 because that actually should be finishing in the next few seconds. Can Stevenage get a consolation goal? Pergini is down the right hand side. It's now getting towards the end. They're passing it along midfield. I think Stevenage have given up on this. They certainly don't seem to be. Passing. Oh, we actually have a shot from Stevenage, and it's off target by Abo. Well, they're substitutes. They did try and get that last one on target, but it's off target, and we go into extra time of extra time. Will the referee blow his whistle when Exeter take this goal kick? We're waiting for the final 2 games. The Norwich-Watford and the Exeter-Stevenage, because I need to get off and do the next bloody live. And it's full time. It's Exeter 2, Stevenage 0. And it's Norwich 4, Watford 1. And I don't have 4. I haven't really got 2. I've got 2 minutes. I'm going to be as late as hell, aren't I? I'm going to have to call. I'm going to go. I hate calling it early. We've got to get the other live set up and on. We're going to have to leave it at Norwich 4, Watford 1. Please do like and subscribe. See me again in a few. Well, give me the 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll set up the next live stream. And I shall see you for the 3 o'clock lives. I do need to pull up my paid my paid stream for the Barnsley game, and I shall see you then. Like, subscribe, and I shall see you in a few minutes for the 3 o'clock and the afternoon live streams. Thank you very much. See you.